So, welcome everyone to the Loving Kindness tonight. I'm honored to be here with all of you. As some of you may know me, I'm Merra Young. I'm one of the longtime members of Common Ground in the meditation community and one of the community Dharma leaders, and also work in the field with our human suffering as a psychotherapist and teach in several other areas. So, I'm glad you're here tonight. And we'll start with just a short inspiration from the Metta Sutta, and then just settling into your posture that's comfortable. And we'll practice the loving kindness practice. And I'll offer some different phrases. Welcome to those that are new, and welcome to those that are familiar with this practice. But I'll just say a couple words, and then we'll have the sutta and the practice, and then I'll have an opportunity to share with you some teachings and readings that I've come across for tonight to support our practice of loving kindness. So happy you're here, especially at these very, very challenging and difficult times in our world, to care for our hearts and to bring more unconditional kindness into the world. So metta in the Pali, or loving kindness, means goodwill. It's an unconditional warmth or friendliness. It's designed to intentionally offer good wishes and a sense of benevolence towards oneself and others. And we usually begin with ourselves, and then we go through different categories of beings, kind of like going up a ladder. But really care for yourself, go at your own pace. Don't worry about getting all the words or phrases. Just see what resonates, and I'll give you some other options for practice as we go along. So this is a translation of the Metta Sutta by Gil Fronsdale, one of our senior Dharma teachers, and it's of the Buddha's teachings. To reach the state of peace, one skilled in the good should be capable and upright, straightforward and easy to speak to, gentle and not proud, contented and easily supported, living lightly and with few duties, wise, with senses calmed, not arrogant and without greed for supporters, and should not do the least thing that the wise would criticize. And then he says, may we all reflect on, may all beings be happy and secure. May all beings be happy at heart. All living beings, whether weak or strong, tall, large, medium or short, tiny or big, seen or unseen, near or distance, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Let no one deceive another or despise anyone anywhere. Let no one through anger or aversion wish for others to suffer, as a mother would risk her own life or their own life to protect their child, their only child. So towards all beings should one cultivate a boundless heart. With loving kindness for the whole world should one cultivate a boundless heart, above, below, and all around, without obstruction, without hate, and without ill will, standing or walking, sitting or laying down. Whenever one is awake, may one stay with this recollection. This is called the sublime abiding, here and now. One who is virtuous, endowed with vision, not taken by views, having overcome all greed for sensual pleasure, will not be reborn again. So this sublime abiding here and now, without discriminating against any category or type of being, regardless of their size, their conditions, or any other attributes or personalities. So that's a pretty high bar, but let's see how we can practice tonight. So So may that be inspiration for us tonight as we settle into the posture, and invite you to take a few easy breaths, letting go of whatever it took to get yourself here online this evening. Letting go for now the cares of your heart, of the world, of the day, and just feeling this soft animal of your body settle into its seat. Support of the Mother Earth, of your own breathing. Just noticing what's present, and as much as you can, softening and relaxing this body, heart, and mind. Not judging the body, not judging the quality of your mind or heart, but simply being aware of how things are in this moment as it unfolds. So, in this practice, sometimes it's very helpful to bring a gentle smile to your lips, or to bring someone or something that brings a warm and happy feeling in your heart as a way to connect. Sometimes it's helpful to visualize oneself as a young child or baby. Maybe think of the beautiful spring blossoms, the fragrance, the colors. And then you can let those thoughts or images go and just reside in that feeling, perhaps of warmth or peace or happiness. And feel free to reconnect with a felt sense, an image. You can use the words or not. And I'll offer some of the words that go with the practice, the classic phrases. And you can just gently imagine that they're dropping into the heart like little droplets of rain nourishing the earth, bringing forth the flowers and nourishing our gardens and fields. Or perhaps like the warm rays of the sun on a beautiful day, warming the air. And if at any time you feel lost or overwhelmed, just begin again, or just rest and connect in the way that feels best for your heart. It's perfectly fine to stay with yourself or come back to an anchor like the body sitting and the breath. Begin again if you wish. So let's start with ourselves. Often for some of us that may be challenging, but the Buddha said that there's no one more deserving of our unconditional love and kindness than oneself. And when the heart is filled with kindness, it's filled with kindness, regardless of whom it's directed to. But see if you can start with yourself, or if that's not feeling right, choose someone who's easy for you to open your heart to and wish well. So, once more, take a couple deep breaths. Feel yourself at ease in your mind and body in this moment. You can think of this as a blessing for yourself or your chosen person. May I feel safe and protected. May I feel safe and protected. You can gently repeat the word or phrase silently to yourself. Let it fill your heart. If you wish, let it fill you, like that warmth of the sun or the rain soaking in the earth. May I feel well, healthy, strong. May I feel or be well, healthy and strong. Feel well. May I live with ease and peace. May I live with ease and peace. Ease and peace. Safe, protected, feeling or being well. Living with peace and ease. Sometimes I add, even in the midst of challenges and changes, in the midst of uncertainty, may I live with ease and peace, safe and protected, feeling well, healthy, strong. Feel free to improvise, to use a word or phrase or image that resonates for your heart, a quality you want to birth in your own heart, to nourish you. May I be filled with loving kindness. Just feeling these wishes echo throughout your body, mind, and heart. If after a time you can let go the words and just rest in that feeling or quality in whatever way you connect tonight. And again, no pressure on yourself. Sometimes it's just like we're sprinkling the metta, the loving kindness, and we may not feel it, but we're doing it anyway with our intention to be kind to self and others. So now we'll move on to the next category of beings and just see who shows up tonight. Bring to mind someone dear to you, perhaps a benefactor, a mentor, a dear friend, a close relative, someone that's easy for you to feel warmth and kindness towards. If you like, you can even visualize or imagine that they're here with you in your mind's eye. And then, just as we wish ourselves to be well, we wish for this person. If you like, you can say their name in your mind, in your heart, or just as if you're just saying this and sending the loving kindness to them now. May you be safe and protected. Safe and protected. May you be safe and protected. May you feel well, or may you be well, healthy, strong. Feel well, healthy, and strong. May you be filled with peace and ease. Peace and ease amidst these times of challenge and uncertainty. Peace and ease. So you can repeat the phrases a few times or the words, offering them towards your dear one, or just sending the loving kindness in whatever way feels best for you tonight. May you be safe and protected. Feel well, healthy, strong, filled with peace and ease amidst challenge and uncertainty. Remember to just gently breathe and go at your own pace. Trust your heart to radiate and send out these wishes to dear ones. Perhaps there's someone else who's dear to you you'd like to offer these wishes to. Feel free to offer to more than one. If you like, you can add other phrases like free from inner and outer harm and danger, happy and peaceful, free from suffering. There's a number of words and phrases, but for tonight, you can just keep it simple as well. And now, just take a few more moments to bring this to a close, and we'll move on to the next category of beings. But remember, just rest, take a breath or two, settle in. So, the next category are people that we call neutral, but it may be someone that is known to you that you don't know very well but wish well. Sometimes it may be just bringing to mind the people that are serving us now, that may be delivering the mail or waiting on us at the store, or someone perhaps you see in your neighborhood walking their dog that you don't even know their name. You may be bringing someone to mind or see who shows up. Perhaps it's someone you know but don't know very well that you want to wish well. So just imagining them in your mind's eye or heart, and now sharing these wishes with them. May you be safe and protected. Safe and protected. May you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong or feel well. Healthy, strong, or feel well. May you be filled with peace and ease. Peace and ease amidst life's challenges and uncertainties. Feel safe, protected, feel well, healthy, strong. May you feel peace and ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. Feel free to continue to radiate and send these wishes to people that are maybe not known to us or not known very well. And then when you're ready, just gently bring it to a close and rest, noticing what's present now, letting go the words. And now we'll move on to this next category, which is more of the difficult ones, the difficult persons or person in our lives, and um, invite you perhaps just to start the practice with someone that it may be challenging, but not necessarily the most difficult, unless you really feel called to do that. To just see if there's someone perhaps you have some misunderstanding or challenge or hurt or anger with. You can just see who comes, or just perhaps some estrangement. And if someone shows up that doesn't feel safe in your mind or heart, invite someone else to mind. And when you're ready, beginning the practice of offering wishes of well being, of loving kindness towards this person, knowing that they may be acting out of their own suffering and unconsciousness. May you be safe and protected. Safe and protected. May you be healthy, strong, or feel well. May you be healthy, strong, or feel well. May you be filled with peace and ease, peace and ease amidst life's challenges and uncertainties, peace and ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. So just gently work and offer with your own heart wishes of loving kindness towards this person. going at your own pace, and knowing that these wishes are not about trying to make anything happen, but we simply offer them freely, unburdening our hearts and wishing others well, including this difficult person. Feel free to pause, to breathe, to see what feels right for tonight. So begin to move on. And these are the four classic categories of beings: ourselves, a dear one, a neutral person, and a difficult one person. But also, we can now expand the heart to include all beings. And right now, perhaps more than ever in our world, our floating world, we know how much suffering there is, how many beings, whether it's from illness, this pandemic that knows no discrimination of any humans on this entire planet, to the animals, the plants, the minerals, our environment that supports life, and in all directions here in our own earth and beyond in the universe. And we'll also close with offering the benefits of our practice tonight to all beings. But for now, if you feel ready, let's just expand the field of loving kindness in a boundless way, bringing to mind all those that we share this earth with, humans and winged ones and four-leggeds and all the sentient beings, the plants, the animals, the minerals, and then beyond in all directions, just like the sun radiating its light. With boundless loving kindness, may all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be well. May all beings everywhere be peaceful and at ease, filled with loving kindness. As far and wide as the heart wants to go tonight, including oneself. And then when you're ready, just bring awareness back to the felt sense of your body sitting and breathing, and just noticing what's present now, dropping into stillness, letting go the words. And let's just sit for a few more moments together. feel free to just sit in whatever way feels right. If you like to do a little stand and stretch for a moment, or feel free. And then I'd like to share some teachings and readings with you about the practice, and then I'll leave a little time if you have any comments or questions when I'm done. I'll leave a few minutes. So take care of your body. If you need a drink of water, and I'll just start in another minute here. Okay. Okay. So, welcome back. So I'd like to just begin this with a reading and a poem. So Mary Oliver on kindness. The poet Mary Oliver says, "I believe in kindness and also mischief, also in singing, especially when singing is not necessarily prescribed." Joy Harjo, American Indian poet, has a poem called "For Keeps." Sun makes the day new. Tiny green plants emerge from earth. Birds are singing the sky into place. There's nowhere else I want to be but here. I lean into the rhythm of your heart to see where it will take us. We gallop into a warm southern wind. I link my legs to yours and we ride together toward the ancient encampment of our relatives. Where have you been? They ask. What has taken you so long? That night, after eating, singing, and dancing, we lay together under the stars. We know ourselves to be part of the mystery. It is unspeakable. It is everlasting. It is for keeps. We are part of this mystery. And our loving kindness practice is a very powerful way for us to begin to dissolve that unhealthy sense of separation and alienation, and sometimes this intense feeling of loneliness. And a lot of us are experiencing that as we're no longer able to come together. Even now on this video, I can't see you, I can't hear you, and I'm feeling that sadness. But I also feel a connection in the heart, even through this media. It's challenging. I also work as a therapist and a lot with grief and loss and life transitions, and there's a lot of despair and challenges right now, and so many losses, and that these practices of loving kindness, and then when it's turned towards the suffering, becomes compassion. There are ways that we can care for our heart. Often in a session, I might invite a client to put a hand on their heart, just to offer compassion for the suffering, the loneliness, this unconditional love. One of the many of our teachers, and I was particularly Kamala Masters, and I have a couple pieces here about about bringing equanimity into our practice, and that through equanimity paired with loving kindness, because equanimity is this tenderness. Patrice was telling me about Zohar Lavia, that she has shared about this tenderness of equanimity, the tender heart, the generous heart that doesn't close towards anyone. Sorry, I'm looking for my little notes here that disappeared. So I may not be remembering it correctly, but also one of our teachers, Kamala, talked about that an equanimous heart and a loving kindness is one, again, that doesn't, is impartial. It doesn't discriminate against who we send loving kindness to, that there's a generosity of heart. And this is a very powerful practice. It's not a secondary practice to insight. And that when we without loving kindness, our insight, our capacity to really fully let go and be liberated is not as authentic unless we have this unconditional quality of the heart that supports letting go, that supports not having preferences, that we can have this open heart, that we can break free of the kind of conditioning that discriminates and has preferences. Equanimity is described as a complete openness to experience without being lost in reactions of love and hate. It's a powerful experience in its own right. It supports wisdom because the mind doesn't shake. We can stay with the truth of things long enough to have deep insight. Equanimity has balance that empowers loving kindness with patience so that we care. There's a early Buddhist poem from the Therigatha that says, if your mind becomes firm like a rock and no longer shakes in a world where everything is shaking, your mind will be your greatest friend and suffering will not come your way. To have a mind that is our greatest friend, that's something that most of us want. The mind that doesn't shake is the description of a mind that is equanimous, filled with equanimity. So this loving kindness, unconditional love becomes compassion, turns toward the suffering, can become empathetic joy, turn towards happiness. And equanimity is not only a balanced state of mind, but a heart and mind that can bear the suffering, that can be able to open to what's happening and to be generous of heart. And that can support this deep insight and understanding and bring us deeper into that mystery, that place of the source of our being. I'd like to share a little more. I'm sorry that papers make a little bit of a sound here. So one of the definitions that I started with about loving kindness is goodwill. That's one translation. And that loving kindness practice is an antidote. Goodwill is an antidote to ill will, hatred, and enmity. And that when you practice goodwill, you remove fear and negative reactivity from your mind. So I'll just share this. I don't know about all of you, but I try to monitor my diet of how much news and information I take in, and I highly recommend that to try to decide what's right, how much of the daily news you take in. So the time that I tend to watch it is probably not ideal. I tend to watch the evening news on BBC. And so my husband jokes with me and he says, okay, it's amygdala hijack time. So that's the time where my reactivity, I hear certain information, I hear certain voices, and I'm filled with ill will, filled with anger, filled with the sense of injustice and outrage. And so, actually, having this humorous way of looking at it, like, okay, this part of my brain is going to get fired up. So, how can I just stay present, taking it in with less reactivity? So at this point in my practice, when it comes to the daily news, I'm not expecting total equanimity, but I'm working on it. And this is helping me to remember to respond with compassion and loving kindness and equanimity, even in the face of such very, very difficult information and news and painful experience to witness at this time. So, Dr. Martin Luther King talked about the need for aggressive nonviolence. He says there are times and situations in which we have to show up and throw down, and this may be such a time. Whether I do that from a mind of toxic hatred or from a mind that recognizes that every human being has at some point been my mother, my parent, or my guardian, depends on how well I practice metta. So actually that statement is from Mushin Patricia Akita, who's a Zen teacher, and that she quoted Martin Luther King about aggressive nonviolence. So again, we may take social action. Some of us are very engaged and we need to be engaged. But at the same time, we're not doing it with a heart that's filled with ill will and hatred. But we can stand strong for our values and we can show up and we can speak out when we see oppression. So she also says that it's a pretty tall order, although possible for some of us to feel loving and kind, even towards those who may be perpetrators of violence and oppression. Not there yet. Like Ruth King gave us bracelets, not there yet, when she talked about working on our racial conditioning. Thich Nhat Hanh said that while it's easy to love the lovable, it may be the unlovable who need our love more. And the next stage is to express your goodwill towards someone who's caused you some slight injury, and then extending your wishes to people who may have caused you more pain, including the institutions and organizations, your family, your community, the pain, the suffering, and invites us to naturally relax and experiment with this. So again, we're all different places in our journey and working that edge, but with kindness, not to force, but also to touch it maybe. You know, can I see the humanity? Even there's behind the inhumane action, there is someone who's filled with greed, hatred, delusion, someone who's suffering, someone who's causing suffering. And how can I begin to let my heart extend without preferences to all beings, including those who may be causing harm. But be very easy with yourself as you work and experiment with this. So given our time tonight has flown by, I just want to share one other piece and leave some time for questions. Oh, wait, I think we have a little more time. So I have a book from one of my other teachers in the Tibetan tradition, Anam Thupten, and he's written a book this last year on choosing compassion, how to be of benefit in the world that needs our love. And Anam Thupten has given talks at Common Ground, and if depending on conditions, he may be coming this October to give a weekend retreat and a talk at Common Ground, but we don't know yet if that's going to happen given the pandemic. But he says there's collective hatred in every culture, and sometimes people intentionally hold on to this hatred because it makes them feel right, strong, and powerful. He says we want to look inside and see the layers of resistance and unconscious strategies we have that continuously feed the dangerous wolf of hatred inside of us to keep us from experiencing pain. He said that the Buddha experienced actually knowing the fear of our own minds when they're filled with violence and insanity in the world. And that it's okay to have this, what he calls divine fear, that we do not feed the dangerous wolf, the parts of our brain that go into these amygdala hijacks, these limbic reptilian brain where we will lash out and cause harm, but that we actually nourish and feed the benevolent wolf, what in the Tibetan is called the good heart. The good heart and the amazing potential and care and practices that we have as we're doing tonight to feed and to cultivate and to extend our good hearts into the world. He says that when cultivated, the enlightened mind with techniques as this, when opening a door, tell your mind, I am opening the door to the city of liberation for every living being. I am opening the door for the city of liberation for every living being. He says, when washing the dishes or your hands, you can say, I'm washing the sorrow of all beings. I'm washing off the sorrow of all living beings. When you're walking, tell your mind, I am leading all human beings to the city of liberation. May I benefit all beings. If we could capture the essence of a good heart in one simple phrase, it would be, may we benefit all beings. When we take a few seconds to recite this phrase, we can see that our heart opens and our consciousness expands. So we can, even a little bit daily of just, I love that. May I wash off the sorrow of all beings. May I wash off the fear. May I, as I walk, may I invite or liberate all beings into the city of, invite them into the city, opening the door to liberation. So let's just contemplate with that for a few moments, and I'd like to share a closing poem with you by Donna Falud's. Excuse me for the sounds. Try to give you a moment. Okay. So this is called, This is What I Have to Say to You. This is what I have to say to you. Live as if the earth exhales blessings in your direction. As if trees speak their deepest secrets in your ear. As if bird songs can lift you outside your ordinary state of mind and bring you into truth. Be the creative juice flowing through the universe. Be compassion in action and wholeness in motion. Be silence and stillness, the ocean of love so palpable that not one cell of you disputes the truth that you are love. The ocean of love so palpable that not one cell of you disputes the truth that you are love. So be open to your destiny, that it unfurls like a banner in the sky, a sign saying, live, live with gratitude, generosity, and grace. Like a banner in the sky saying, live with gratitude, generosity, and grace. So let's sit for a few moments. So I invite you to open up. There's the commenting live chat, and if there's some comments or questions, I wish I could see you guys, but glad you're here, and would welcome some sharing. I can repeat the question, and there might be some responses that people have I can repeat, or I can respond as well. So um, if there's any comments or questions, I also ended a little early this formal part, so we have this time to connect. And also, just given this media, maybe to keep it a little shorter, um, because a lot of us are online a lot these days. Okay. So, any comments or questions? You still with me? I'm not seeing any comments or questions, so let's see. Oh, is it valuable to watch the news if it makes us angry? Well, thank you for your question, Mark. Um, you know, um, I think you know, we have a lot of experiences that arise in reactivity. So, like I say, I think to find what that balance is for you, for us, around how much of news we take in. Thich Nhat Hanh has a version of the 5 precepts for daily living, and some of it's watching how much we take in. So I think that to completely deny or avoid is extreme, but I think to to work with what comes up in reactivity. And maybe sometimes I turn off the sound. I like mute it. You can take a breath, you can reground. Maybe there's some pieces you decide to not listen to, but work with yourself. But I think, again, we can't avoid this kind of suffering or challenges. And our practice is to work with difficult emotions. And that's partly where we're using the Four Noble Abode practices that we're doing and equanimity. Let's see, Kathleen has a comment here. It seems like the pandemic is bringing out the worst and the best in people. Fortunately, I've noticed that it's mostly the best. These are times that call for extra patience and compassion. Yeah. And let's see, someone else said thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. You have a wonderful weekend too. Thank you. So, again, that wisdom of having compassion and patience and using our practice to support our hearts. And actually, sometimes I've been saying to people, if you're not, at least once a week, I have a good cry. And I also have an amygdala hijack. And I just say, it's part of being a human being. And one of my, I can't remember if it was a client or a colleague said, or a Dharma sister said, or actually, I have it if you're not having it every day. We have to find ways to let it move through us. And, whether it's getting outside in nature or writing or other forms of taking care of our hearts and minds so that we don't just lose ourselves in anger, or the suffering and the grief, but we let it move through us. So it's really a lot of good self-care and patience and compassion. And I am noticing the kindness of others as well. Yeah. So any other comments or questions tonight? Good for you guys for coming to practice. I mean, this is a real refuge for the heart to come to the center, to take advantage of all the wonderful teachings, practices, offerings. Okay, you're welcome. So you guys, I'll give you another minute or here. Any other comments? And if not, we can call it a night. It's Friday evening, and take good care. And this is a really good time. If what else to do, let's feed the benevolent parts of our being, our hearts, and wish ourselves and others well. So we can close in a few moments with our sharing the benefits of our practice. Okay, so let's close tonight. Just take another moment, settle back in, let the words go, and just we offer that any benefits from our practice of loving kindness and the time this evening that we took to nurture our hearts, care for our hearts, be of benefit to all those near and dear and far and wide. May all sentient beings be free from suffering. May they be safe and protected. May they live with peace and ease. And then let's just radiate out these benefits and wishes to all sentient beings everywhere, including oneself, our community, our neighbors and neighborhood, those we share our city, our country with, our world with, and beyond all boundaries and borders in all directions. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a peaceful evening. Have a good evening. Um, Take good care. Okay, thanks. And, um, may you meet the challenges of the daily news and what's happening with, as a really PhD course in applied mindfulness and compassion. So we're all growing. So, you know, um, we're all in this together, as they say, right? So good night and thank you. And I really appreciate this opportunity to practice with you all and connect. And it really deepens my practice and inspires me to, I'll be thinking of it when I watch the news tonight. So thank you, everyone. Good night.